Hi guys, this is Ruth Delgado and Ruth Delgado's Glamour Page. Welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you haven't been here before, welcome. And you're about to have a really good time. So today what I wanted to come to you guys with is a little bit too bright. Hold on y'all. I have some ring lights and okay, that's a little better. I have some ring lights to help with my lighting because this light, when I put it on, it's way too bright in my face and it has like a glare. So I decided to go ahead and get myself a couple of ring lights because I haven't been able to get like a real big one yet. So I got some smaller compact ones. Excuse me y'all. So that's what I had to adjust just now. So how y'all doing today? I'm doing okay. I've been having some struggles lately though. I believe that like recently I've been having like sinus infection type thing going on because like my sinus area is like here behind my ears, like just sinus pressure all in my head and stuff. So I've been having like crazy sinus headaches and migraines and stuff lately. So y'all please just work with me. Was supposed to have a number of these videos already uploaded to you guys to be able to see it, but I've been having these headaches so much lately, and the lights, I ain't gonna hold y'all right now. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm kind of blinking kind of hard already because the lights is kind of getting to me again. Because like, if you guys ever have any migraines, y'all should already know like the light makes you like very sensitive, and so I had to turn one of them off because like starting to strike my headache already. But I'm trying to make sure I have more than enough light so that y'all can be able to see me well, and so it doesn't look dark and washed out, and so that I don't have too much glare that y'all can't see me too, because that's what I have usually when I put my ceiling light on. But hey y'all like my afro, my fro back. The fro is big, baby. So I had for a while was putting my hair in twists for a good minute, and I kind of want to put it back in twists. I'm not gonna hold y'all, but I got this special natural kind of gel that I was using, and I ran out of it. And it is one thing I didn't like about it. My hair would get like real flaky from the gel. I didn't like that. But other than that, like I did like the gel and how well it held up on my hair and stuff like that. But I ran out, and I've been like re-ing up on my Essence of Dazzle products as well as my cleaning products for true cleaning. So because I've been focusing more so on doing that, like I haven't been able to re-up on my gel yet. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to just go ahead and rock out the fro. I know some of you guys like the fro, so fro's back for the time being. But anyways, guys, what I wanted to come to you and talk to you about is a story that has been circulating very heavily lately, and it's a very heartbreakingly sad story. I didn't really want to talk about it until I got all of the information that I could get to talk about it first, and so that I can be able to really tell the whole story as best as possible. And I'm going to make sure that I read her name correctly because I wouldn't want nobody to mess up my name. I hate when people mess up my name, especially because my name is so simple, especially to me. But anyway. Okay, her name is Shanquilla Robinson. Okay. I have not gotten the complete story yet because it's still being investigated. Thank God they're finally now investigating the story. Excuse me, y'all. Thank God they're finally investigating the story as an actual criminal situation, because at first, when everybody started to hear about the story, the cops said that they were not investigating it as a criminal investigation, but now they are investigating it to the point where somebody can get locked up. And excuse me, I honestly really pray that all of the people that were involved in this young lady's demise get, you know, whatever their just reward is for what they did. Now, this story's been circulating for probably about a week or two now. Supposedly, Halloween weekend, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments nicely. But I'm doing the best that I can to not really bring up any specific stories and play any parts of anybody else talking about the situation, because I purely would love to genuinely tell the story from a point of view that's not from anybody else's, if y'all can understand where I'm coming from. One of the reasons why I got so connected to this story is because I had a story myself that was kind of similar to this. Not very exact, but it was kind of similar. So I'm going to give y'all a brief overall of the story of what I've already heard about Shanquilla Robinson, and then I'm going to tell you guys about my personal experience that I felt like is similar. So, what the story is about Miss Shanquilla is, it's a very smart, young, talented young lady, 25 years old. They said that she was a very popular braider. She was from North Carolina. She was like a very kind-hearted, soft-spirited, not a fighter, not violent, very cool, calm, collective type of person, very professional. She was a businesswoman. She had about 2 businesses, and I was like, yo, she sound like me. But that she was like kind of popular, so they said that basically she decided to take a vacation with a few friends to Mexico, Cabo, which is a very popular vacation spot that a lot of people that vacation regularly might know about, where it's blue waters and all of that pretty stuff. So she goes to this vacation with 6 other people. I believe it's 7 of them entirely, including Shanquilla. If it wasn't 7, it probably was 8. Please do not quote me on the number. Whatever I am incorrect on, just correct me kindly in the comments, please. If you are not kind, I will delete you. I'm letting you know now. But anyways, so according to the stories that are circulating that I've gotten from multiple different channels that I frequently watch, such as, I'll just tell you guys a few of them. One of them would be Gigi from Gossip Girl XOXO. The other one would be E-Toxic Tea Lounge. And let me see, who else did I get some insider scoop from? Sean Davy Way show. It's a number of different channels that I have watched. Yay, I'm Stacy, to get information about this story. So she went to this vacation spot, which is in Cabo, with these other 7 or 8 people. And it was like, yeah, it was 7, because it was like 3 girls and 3 guys. Other than Shanquilla. And 6 or 7, I'm sorry, y'all, the numbers is kind of confusing. But anyway, when they got there, um, they said that the girl wasn't even there for a full 24 hours before a housekeeper found her body and said that she was unresponsive. And it was said that the other people that went with her to this vacation spot, including her best friend of about 5 or 6 years, they left her body. That's so messed up. They left her body at the vacation spot by itself, and they took her belongings and went to her parents' house to tell her parents a bull-faced lie that was proved through autopsy that it was a lie. Basically, they told her parents that she died from alcohol poisoning, and that was it, which her parents did not believe the story. Thank God. Because they said that the stories were inconsistent from person to person. So they said that her mother said that she did not believe the story. So she managed to get the body. Her and her father, her mother and her father managed to get the body. I think they said they spent about $6,000 to get her body back. And then they also had a coroner do an examination of her body to find out what the true cause of death was. And they said that it came through in the autopsy that her true cause of death had nothing to do with any alcohol consumption whatsoever. They said that it was purely through head damage as well as back injury of a broken spinal cord and a broken neck, which is terrible for somebody to do something like that to somebody. But anyway, that was the story. So later on, I found out more where they say that she had a boyfriend, and the boyfriend didn't get to the villa that they were at until later, hours later. And it's confusing whether or not she was even alive when he got there. He's saying that she was alive but non-responsive, and I don't understand how that's alive if you're non-responsive. And then the father is saying that that can't be right, that she was alive when her boyfriend got there, comparing to the time that the boyfriend said he got there. It's just so many different flip-flops in the story. The girl that the video surfaced that I did see of a chocolate young lady beating her up, they were saying that that's not the only time that somebody was beating on her. The girl with the video that was circulating first, the chocolate girl beating her up, her aunts and family, basically they said that her aunts and family was saying that it's not just her that's responsible. Actually, she's not even the one that killed her, they said, because now they saying that it's another video circulating that I did not see yet. To be honest, y'all, I don't even know if I want to watch that video, because the first video was hard for me to watch, but I had to see what these people were talking about, because I'm like, what did these people do to this young girl, right? So I did see the first video, but to be honest, I don't know if I want to see the second one because of how much has already, transpired with this story. So it's just like, I don't know how much more I want to see, But they said that it was another video of a lighter skinned girl who also put hands on the girl. They said that she grabbed her by the neck and then she threw her down, picked her up off of her feet and threw her down on the ground. And the father was saying that he believes that's probably when she got the injury that officially killed her, because after that she stopped moving completely. And I'm like, it's just with all of this going on, supposedly the best friend of about 5 or 6 years, he was the one that was recording the video of the chocolate girl beating her up. Y'all, if y'all didn't see the video of the chocolate girl beating her up, it was so sad because the girl is naked. Shanquilla is naked. Why would you, one, beat up a girl like that and she's not even fighting you back? But two, why would you do that while she's nude? So, with all of this transpiring, me finding out about all these different things from, like I said, different sources, I'm like, this is so sad. And the last bit of news that I got from XOXO, Gossip Girl, Gigi, she basically was saying that the last thing that she received about the case is that, first of all, the FBI is finally investigating, which is great, so that finally somebody can pay for this, what happened to this young lady. But she said also that some ghost page or something just put out a confession that the young lady Shanquilla was not like an angel. She wasn't innocent in the situation. They basically were saying this is all substantial information. I don't know how true any of this is. I'm going off of summarizing in my own words all of the information that I've been getting from the news, all of the information I've been getting from the gossip blogs, and all of that kind of stuff. So if y'all wondering, well, like, okay, well, where's your information sources coming from? If you guys were noticing from the beginning of the video, I did drop some names of some videos that I have watched from on YouTube, but I also have been keeping up with news blogs as well. So I've been getting information from multiple different sources. So that's why I really did not want to specify anyone specific, because I know I've been getting information from everybody. So to get back to the focus of what I'm talking about, when I seen the video of the chocolate girl beating her up first, I remember thinking in my mind, part of the reason possibly why this young lady probably did not fight back is because we don't know who's not in the video that probably is still around her, that might have been intimidating her or making her even more afraid to defend herself. So that's one of the reasons why I was thinking that she probably didn't fight back. But when her father said that she's not a fighter, it did make even more sense, because I do know, me personally, before I realized how evil people can be, I used to be like Shanquilla with the not fighting situation. I used to never want to fight. Like, I used to never want to fight. And, but I ended up realizing how evil and messed up people can be towards you. And I realized you have to fight back. But I'm going to get back to Shanquilla's story first before I get really into my own story. So, when I saw how this young lady, first of all, the girl that was beating her up, the chocolate girl, she seemed like she was trying to tell her to put her hands up to like fight her back. But you can't hear what they're saying. But I know how to really read body language. So, in my opinion, in the body language that I saw in the video with the chocolate girl that beat her up, it looked like the chocolate girl was trying to tell her to put her hands up, and it looked like Shanquilla was just like refusing to put her hands up because she didn't want to fight. And then in the video, you see how Shanquilla's best friend, supposedly 5-6 years in, is the one that is recording the video, and he says out of his face, Shanquilla, you're not going to at least defend yourself and fight back? And she just says no. She says no. And it's just like, it's so sad hearing her say no, because I'm like, yo, the simple fact that this girl would not even fight back, that's just what made it 10 times worse for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, all right, If she would have fought back and y'all used that as an excuse to beat her up and beat her to death, then that would have made it look bad kind of on her more. But being as though she didn't even want to put her hands up to fight y'all back, it made y'all look extremely worse, honestly. So, and then like I said, I did not even look for or look at the other video that they said was the final straw that literally killed her. And which would have been the lighter skinned young lady that they said literally picked her up by her neck and slammed her down on the ground. So some kind of foreign person has been obviously keeping up with the case as well and saying like, oh, y'all stars want to be having a GoFundMe for her and y'all don't even know the whole story. And to be honest, the way that Miss Gigi, who is Gossip Girl XOXO's page runner, the way that she explained and read the message, it sounded like somebody that's jealous, because it seemed like you're still jealous even in her death that all of these celebrities have went as far as to create a GoFundMe for this young lady. Y'all hating on her even in her death, seemed like, because basically what the person was saying is that, oh, y'all, creating a GoFundMe for this girl and y'all don't even know the whole story. She supposedly got someone murdered, a young boy murdered, they said. And they said that the girl that was beating her up in the first video was the young boy who she got murdered, set him up and got him murdered. That was her cousin. And to me, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I probably would believe it if they weren't lying to start with. If they didn't come back to America and lie to her mother and tell her mother that she died of alcohol poisoning and she didn't even have any alcohol in her system. If they didn't do that, I probably would believe this story that they're saying right now that she got somebody killed. I probably would believe it. But I can't, because y'all already started off lying. And that, to me, lets me know that y'all knew y'all was wrong to start with. Because if it was really not what y'all was trying to do, they said that they wasn't trying to kill her. They was just like really trying to hurt her really bad because she got somebody killed. So why didn't y'all say that in the beginning? So instead of lying to that mother, why didn't y'all say to that mother, she got my cousin killed and I just went crazy and I lost it and I'm so sorry? How come, you know what I'm saying? Like that's my thoughts. How come y'all didn't be honest straight from the rip? Cause then maybe we would have believed y'all and said, oh, wait a minute, this girl ain't no angel. But y'all lied from the rip, and now y'all expect us to believe that y'all telling us the truth. This is not really connecting well to me. So I said all of that to say this. I pray tremendously for her family because her father seems so heartbroken, and I can only imagine how heartbroken her mother and her sister has to be, because for you to hear that people did something like that to your baby, and they took her so far away from you that you wouldn't have never been able to help even if you tried. That is terrible. And I just truly pray that they get the justice that they deserve, and that who all is responsible for this young lady's demise and covering up, I hope they all get what they got coming to them. Now, the supposed boyfriend said that he was sitting there, turned her on her side, gave her a bag, was rubbing her head, put some soft music of Summer Walker on for her. I don't believe him either, because like the father explained, he said the girl was sitting there, had a cut on her lip, busted up lips, busted up face, had a knot on her head. If you her boyfriend, how could you be so dumb and blind that you can't see all of that? And then He said he didn't see it until the nurse pointed it out. Okay, so after the nurse pointed it out to you, how come you didn't flip out on everybody there and find out what happened to her? And how come you didn't stay there with her body and make sure that she safely got with her parents and got her body back home? His story not making all that much sense either. So now, to say all of that, RIP to Shanquilla Robinson. And if her family sees this video, I am so heartbroken for you guys. It tremendously tears my heart out to really, man, it's, I can't imagine how y'all feel. Y'all hear me, I can't even talk it out. That's how hurt I can't even imagine. I really can't. I feel so sorry for you guys. I pray that you guys really get the justice that you deserve for your loved one. Truly. And I pray that the outcry of people like me sharing this story and putting this story out there will raise awareness to the point that people will not be able to think that they can get away with things like this anymore, whether they do it on U.S. soil or not, because this was not on U.S. soil. This was in Mexico. Now, I'm going to go from Shanquilla's story to my personal story. Now, unlike Shanquilla's story, my personal story, I wasn't an adult yet when my story had took place. Also, I was on U.S. soil. It was in America. It was at my home city, my home state, my hometown. But similar to Shanquilla's story, the frustration and the violence and the craziness that occurred and that was done to me was done to me by friends. Okay? So, I actually have already mentioned these people in a few of my, matter of fact, one of my stories, I believe I've already mentioned these people in. I believe I called one blue and one pink, and I'm going to use those same reference names for them because even though they are no longer in my life, they will no longer ever be in my life again. I still do have, I don't even really know what to call it, but I guess to an extent some respect for them. Y'all see how my face went as soon as I said that. But anyway, to an extent I do have some respect for them and the fact that they do have children, and that, you know, I don't want to put anybody out there in a terribly bad light verbatim, even though that is truly what they deserve. I am not going to be the one to do it because I do truly believe that people do get what they deserve, whether you give it to them or not, especially when they do good people wrong. And so therefore, with that being said, I am going to refer to these two girls who were my friends at the time. So I'm going to tell you guys about the time frame that this happened. This happened when I was in high school. Now, I'm 33 right now, okay? So this is a number of years, this was a number of years ago. Because this occurred, I was about 15, 16 when this occurred. So, at the youngest, 14. But I believe I was about 16, though, to be honest. 16. I could have even been, no, I wasn't 17. I wasn't that old. I was about between the age of 14 and 16, okay? So, I was in high school at the time. And these two girls that I had this particular situation with, they were my friends at the time. That's what I looked at them as. That's what I respect them as. One of the girls I had met, I'm going to tell you about the first girl first, Pink. I met Pink when she was 9, I was 10, you know, so we weren't even in high school yet. I believe that was middle school. correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But anyway, that was the first girl, Pink, that I met and befriended. And then, actually, no. Pink was not the first girl that I met. She was just the first girl that I had became really super duper cool with and started spending more time with. The first girl that I originally met was Blue. Blue was the light-skinned girl. Now, mind you, that was another similarity to both stories, Shanquilla's story and my story. I don't know why it seems like it's like a consistent thing, but it's similar in her story to my story, where one person is light-skinned and one person is dark-skinned. Pink was dark-skinned, Blue was light-skinned. And they say that the first girl that beat Shanquilla up was dark-skinned, and then the second girl that body slammed her was light-skinned. So I'm like, yo, is this something with this dark-skinned, light-skinned friendship type thing that nobody should ever respect or trust? Because it always seemed like it's never nothing good that comes from dark-skinned, light-skinned duos of friends. But anyway, that's how I'm going to describe, these people to you guys, so you guys can have an idea of who I'm talking about without me actually putting them, on blast. So the light-skinned one was the one that I originally met first, but I'm not sure how old we were when we met, and we were not that close when we originally met. My mom had a Christian school, and before she had her Christian school, my mom actually opened Christian schools for other schools before she officially decided to open her own school. And so when my mom had helped one of these other schools that I also attended myself open, she had Blue as one of her students. And Blue needed a lot of help with reading, writing, just like a lot of my mom's other students. So that's how I had met Blue. But Blue and I were not close at the time. We knew of each other, but that was as far as it went at that time. So that was short-lived, knowing Blue and dealing with Blue. So therefore, that's why I felt like the first person that I officially met was Pink, because Pink was the one that I typically hit it off with, like, kind of right away. And we became very cool. Pink and I spent almost every day together. So it was like, we were friends for years before this actual situation had occurred, where fast forward after I met Blue briefly, and we're not very close friends with her, but knew of her. And then after I officially met Pink and started to become very cool and very close and very bonded with her, to the point that Pink and I used to call each other sisters. That's how close we were. Literally, we called each other's mom's mom. She was the first person that started calling my mother mom, and I kind of piggybacked off that and started also calling her mother mom. So with all that being said, that kind of shows you guys the closeness that I felt to them. Now Blue, like I said, I was not that close to her yet. So met Blue first briefly, disconnected from her, then met Pink, and we became very cool and regularly was spending time with each other. A lot of times when my mom would take me out, she would call and see if Pink was available to go out as well, because my mom knew that I looked at Pink as a really good friend. So my mom knew that, if I didn't want to go somewhere by myself, that Pink was somebody that I would pick or choose to go with me as my friend. So keeping all of this in mind, my mom was very strict when I was younger. So my mom was not one of those moms that would like let me go over sleepovers or let me go to this person's house or let me go to that person's house. Like my mom barely even let me go to the movies with anybody besides my god sister. So that's how very strict my mother was with me, and I appreciate her for that. Mom, if you're seeing this video, I love you very much. Mwah, thank you so much for everything. But anyway, that's how my mother was with me when I was younger. And everybody that knew me knew that. So, if anybody wanted to do anything with me, even if any parents wanted to take me with their kids or anything like that, they literally had to like really try to butter my mom up to even get my mom to let me go. So, to do the best that I can to make a long story short, um, it ended up becoming a time where after my mom finally officially opened up her own school, and she had her own school open for a while now, she had acquired some of her old students, which would bring Blue back into the scene where Blue wasn't in the scene for a while. Remember, it was just me and Pink for a while. So let me give you guys a little background on Pink and Blue as well. Pink and Blue lived right around the corner from one another. And I didn't live very far from them as well. But they literally were right around the corner from each other. And they did not even know each other. I literally introduced Pink and Blue to one another. And I peeped when I introduced them to. I peeped how they became more closer and more bonded than Pink and I already was. And Pink and I was the first people that really got close. So I had already peeped that things was kind of a little off for me that I was noticing. At my young age, I was still paying attention to certain things, even though I wasn't paying attention completely like all the way like I would do now as an older adult. But even at the time as a teenager, I was like picking up on certain things. Like I noticed how Pink and Blue spent a lot more time together with each other. And I didn't really like that because I was like, wait a minute. How is it that you guys literally live right around the corner from each other? Y'all never knew each other. I bring you guys together. Now y'all closer to each other than y'all are to me. Keep that in mind. So, we all still hung out together. We all still was cool. We all still created this bond with each other. Pink and Blue and I, all three of us went to the same school now, whereas before it was different times that we went to school together. And my mom basically let me know one day that Pink and Blue wanted me to come to Pink's house for a sleepover. Now, mind you, I've already let you guys know how my mom was. My mom did not allow me to go to a bunch of different sleepovers, a bunch of different people's houses, and none of that. My mom was not that type of mom. She was like, either you gonna come here or she ain't going nowhere, so y'all can just forget about it. Like, that's how my mom was. So they knew that. So they like convinced her to allow me to go to Pink's house for this sleepover. And of course, me being a child at that time that was not able to go many places, I was very excited to finally be able to go over somebody's house for a sleepover beyond my own house. So I thought that it was cool. Like, I'm not thinking nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? Now, did I know that, like I said, the energy was a little off because they did seem a lot closer to each other than they were to me, even though they both knew me longer than they knew each other. Like, it was just weird. But anyway, I definitely peeped that. But I'm thinking, I just probably thinking too deep into things. Like, that's what people used to always try to make me feel like I was always just thinking too deep into things. So that's what I was thinking that I was feeling at the time. So that's why I just played along. My mom told me that they wanted me to come over to this sleepover, and I was excited because I was like, oh, okay, I can actually go somewhere. So went to the sleepover, and at first it seemed like everything was cool at first. But then it went left real quick. And I was just like so confused. Like, okay, so basically, and guys, please forgive my memory because, like I said, I'm 33 now. So this was like quite some years ago, like literally over 15 years ago. So, or at least around that. So, forgive me if my memory seems like a bit all over the place, but it was a while ago. But anyway, from my memory, I remember hanging out with them, trying to chat with them, like, do a little girl talk. We all sitting on the couches and sitting on the floors and stuff, just hanging out in the living room at my girlfriend's house. And I noticed how they seemed like they was trying to like team up on me just with how they was talking to me. And I peeped it and I was just like, why y'all seem like y'all trying to team up on me? Like, what's y'all problem? Like, why would y'all invite me here to team up against me and start trying to argue with me? Like, what's going on here? So I started to pick up on things like that. And like, they were so weird because one minute they would seem like they're trying to argue with me, and then the next minute they would be like, oh, Ruth, we just playing, we just messing with you. Like, it was just so wishy-washy and weird. Okay, so when I noticed how they was just acting so wishy-washy and weird, and how they kept seeming like they was trying to argue with me one minute and then the next minute they wanted to be cool, it was just like too weird for me. So I was just like, you know what? I'm about to leave. Like, and now mind you, I told y'all, them two live directly around the corner from each other. But even though I didn't live around the corner from them, I did not live too far away. Okay. And I knew how to walk home. So now, mind you, I wasn't one to usually go home by myself and stuff like that, because like my mom didn't let me do stuff like that because she was like, it's a lot of crazies around, which she was right. But I was like telling them, actually, I was like, listen, because I remember Pink was sitting here saying to me when I was telling them that I'm about to leave because y'all acting weird. Pink was saying to me, oh, you're going to get in trouble because your mom is not going to want you to be going home by yourself, and you didn't come here like that. She going to be mad at you. And I felt like she probably was right because my mom kind of was like that. But then I thought about it after she kept acting finicky and weird to me, and I was like, my mom gonna understand because she gonna know, because I'm gonna explain to her how y'all treating me. Y'all treating me real weird, and I'm supposed to be the guest here, and y'all supposed to be being nice to me, and y'all acting like y'all want to fight me or something. I'm like, I don't got time. Matter of fact, that's what they said. Pink told me that she wanted to fight me. She kept telling me that she wanted to fight me. And I'm like, I don't want to fight. That's why I said that I understood how Shanquilla could have been one of those type of people that just really just didn't want to fight, because that's how I used to be until I recognized from this type of situation that I'm explaining to you guys how evil and mean people could be towards you and you didn't do nothing to them. And I'm like, Pink, I didn't do nothing to you. Why would you want to fight me? She was like, I don't know. I just want to fight you. I want us to fight. And I was like, you're weird. No, I'm not you. I'm like, first of all, you already know me. You supposed to be my friend of how many years? And at this point, we were about 15, 16 years old. So we would have been friends for about at least 4 or 5 years by that time, because we had met. Like I said, she was like 9, I was 10. So if I was like 15, 16 around that time, it was like 5, 6 years that we had already known each other. So I'm like, why are you sitting here telling me that you want to fight me? Like, you're acting really weird. So she was like, I don't know, I just want to fight you. And then Blue was acting weird too, because she was just like, everything that Pink would say, she would piggyback off of it. And I'm like, what, you want to fight me too? Like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all both supposed to be my girlfriends, and y'all sitting here talking about fighting me. So I was like, you know what? I'm about to leave. Like, I'm getting out of here. So I go upstairs to get my belongings, get my stuff together, whatever. And then they come up there and start messing with me. And like I said, Pink sitting there talking about something. Your mom ain't gonna want you to leave. She gonna be mad at you. You gonna get in trouble. And then she started getting to the point where she was begging me not to leave because she was like, because then your mom gonna be mad at me. I'm like, girl, are you weird? Like, you really weird. Because I'm like, what are you talking about? My mom gonna be mad at you when you're sitting here trying to tell me that you want to fight me for no reason. Why would you think that I would want to stick around your house and you're sitting here constantly trying to tell me that you want to fight me for no reason? And I told you that I don't want to fight. So she kept with the weirdness. And then it got to the point where she kept getting in my way. Like, I would try to grab my bag and walk out the door, and she would like get in front of my face like this, like, you not going nowhere. And I'm like, yes I am. I'm getting the heck up out of here. Y'all talking crazy, y'all talking weird. I can't, like, at that time we ain't had cell phones yet, so I'm like, I can't call my mom because y'all won't let me get, look, they wouldn't let me get to the phone. Like, it was weird. It was very, very weird. So that's why I say that I can only imagine how Shanquilla might have felt, because I know I felt weird in that situation that I was in. And I wasn't even out of my city. I wasn't out of my country and none of that. She was out of her city and out of her country. I was literally walking distance away from my house, and I knew that. And I knew how to get back home by myself. So I was ready to leave. So they would not let me leave. They wouldn't. So when I realized and I recognized that they wasn't going to let me leave, I said, okay, you know what? Fine. Y'all want to fight? Fine. We're going to fight then. Because what I'm not going to do, I said, I'm not going to let y'all sit here and keep bullying me and thinking that y'all just going to keep bullying me, because it's not happening. So I was like, okay, fine. So I remember that back then, before you fought, it was said that, you know, you got to get ready to fight. You know, you got to put some sneakers, some boots on. You know, you got to put on clothes that, you know, won't easily get ripped up and stuff. And you got to put like grease on your face, so, you know, and on your arms and stuff, so that if anybody scratch you or anybody like try to hold on to you, it's going to be hard for them to hold on. And I remember all of that. So I went back upstairs. When I realized that they wasn't going to let me go out, and they wasn't going to let me leave, and they wasn't going to let me call my mom, I was like, okay. So I went back upstairs, put my stuff back in the room, and I started getting myself together. Meaning, I started putting Vaseline on me, and I started, like, putting my boots on and, like, getting myself ready to fight. Because I was like, what I'm not about to do is have y'all bully me and feeling scared. I'm not scared of neither one of y'all. I said, because I know, even though I don't like to fight, I know how to fight. So I was like, all right, since y'all want to fight and y'all won't let me go nowhere, all right, we're going to fight. So I got myself together to fight, and I came back downstairs. And Pink kept sitting there trying to tell me to hit her. She was like, hit me, hit me, hit me. She kept getting in my face, hit me, hit me. I'm like, Pink, you know I'm not that type of person. I'm not going to hit you. I will fight you, but I'm not fighting you by hitting you first. You know I don't do that. I was like, if anything, if we going to fight, you going to hit me first, and then I'm going to fuck you up, period. That was my motto. Like, I had told her, I was like, you already know how I am, because we've had that conversation before. You know how when you friends, you talk about how you would be if somebody was to mess with you. And I'm like, we've had this conversation before. And you've messed with me before to the point that you pushed me to fight before. So you know that I know how to fight. Like, we had this conversation. And she was sitting there looking at me up and down and kept getting in my face. And I was like, you already know I'm not going to hit you first. Like that. I'll fight you, but I'm not going to hit you first. It's not happening. So she kept getting in my face, and then she finally hit me. Man, y'all, when I tell y'all, as soon as her fist hit me, I went crazy on that girl. So we immediately started fighting as soon as she hit me. And I don't even know how it happened that way, but we went from in the living room to being outside fighting, because it started in the living room. Now it was no adults was there. Um, her mom wasn't Pink's mom wasn't home because her mom was at work, and her Pink had two sisters. Her oldest sister did not live there, and her other sister that was older than her but younger than her other sister, she had came a little bit later right after the fight. So it was just us three girls that was there. And so like I said, the fight started in the living room. I don't know how, but it ended up outside. And I remember thinking to myself that I wanted to push Pink down the stairs, because I'm like, she started this. I did not want to fight. She pushed me to fight. And then she was sitting here jumping me basically, because she ended up getting Blue to be helping her and kicking on me and hitting on me too. So it started off where it was just Pink and I fighting, and then it ended up where it was me against both of them. And I remember thinking in my head that I wanted to push that girl down the steps. I'm not gonna hold y'all, but I didn't. I never pushed her down the steps. But I gave her a run for her money, and her lips was all busted and everything. She was bleeding. Now I had a little cut on the inside of my lip, but other than that, like, it was no proof that I was even fighting. Literally, it was no proof that I was even fighting. Besides that little cut that was in the inside of my lip that you couldn't even see unless I did this. It was no proof that I was even fighting. But I busted Pink lip up. Pink lip was all busted and dripping. So after the fight was over, they were sitting there trying to talk to me again, because again, they didn't want to get in trouble, and they knew that I was about to tell on them. Like, I was telling them, like, yo, I'm telling my mom. Y'all know as soon as I see my mom, I'm telling my mom on y'all, right? And they was like, why would you tell your mom? You gonna get in trouble too. Da 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 da. So I was like, all right, you know what? You might be right. You might be right. So I was like, all right, I ain't gonna say nothing. But I'm definitely leaving here today. And I made sure that I did leave there that day. But before I ended up leaving, Pink's sister came back home. Not her oldest sister, the other sister. She ended up coming back home, and when she came back home, she saw Pink lip. She saw that her lip was all busted up or whatever. And then she saw that I looked kind of disheveled. And she looked at all of us and she was like, what's going on around here? Something ain't right. That's what she said. And she looked at me and she was like, Ruth, what happened? I don't even know why she came straight to me. It's so crazy. But literally, she ain't even asked Pink, her sister. She didn't even ask Blue, the other girl. She came straight to me and she was like, what happened? So I told her. I said, I don't know why these girls hate me so much, because they were supposed to be my friends. She was like, ain't y'all friends? I was like, they supposed to be my friends. That's why I'm saying I don't know why they hate me so much. But I told her that her sister kept telling me that she wanted me to fight her. I was trying to leave. She wouldn't let me leave. So I went on ahead and I fought her after she hit me. And that's why her lip is all busted up. And then she looked at Pink and she asked Pink, was it true? And Pink didn't even really want to say nothing. So she was just like shaking her head, yeah. And I'm trying to remember what happened to the point that my mom ended up finding out. Because I still don't think that I told my mom. I still think that I kind of try to like not tell her, because Pink kept getting in my head, making me feel like I might get in trouble. So that's why I believe that I probably didn't go straight and tell my mom. But I think that they was talking about it or something. Something happened to the point that it got around to my mom. And the next day when we was in school, I think it was a Monday because it was a weekend that I was supposed to have spent the time with them that the sleepover was at. So I believe it was a Monday. The next day when we all was in school, I remember my mom calling us into her office because, of course, my mom is the principal. So my mom had called us all into the office. It was me, it was Pink, and it was Blue. And I remember her asking all of us what happened. And we all told our, side of the story. And after everybody got finished telling their side of the story, my mom looked at all of us and I was scared. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I was terrified because I know how strict my mom was with me. And I know that my mom did not condone violence ever. Still to this day, my mom don't condone any violence. That's how my mom is. So that's why I was so scared. I was thinking that I might get in trouble. But to my surprise, my mom really surprised me that day because my mom looked at all of us and then she looked back at me and she kind of like, I don't know if she really did nod her head at me, but I kind of feel like she nodded her head at me and she said, you dismissed. And then she, no. First, she nodded her head at me. She nodded her head at me. And then she looked at them and she said to them, y'all set my daughter up. She said, y'all sat there. Y'all knew that I don't let my daughter go nowhere. Y'all knew that she was going to be excited to be invited somewhere. And y'all set my baby up. And y'all tried to jump her. And I'm so glad she fought y'all back and beat y'all behinds. Now get out my office. And she looked at me and she said, you dismissed. I was like, I didn't even know how to respond to that because, to be honest, y'all, I thought I was going to be in trouble. I ain't going to hold y'all. I was like scared. But thank goodness my mom noticed the truth, which was exactly what she said. They set me up. They talked her into having me come over for a sleepover. Meanwhile, they knew that they was going to try to antagonize me and they knew that they was going to try to fight me. But they ended up salty because I whooped their butts. And that's why I'm so glad that my mom let me know through that experience that it was okay for me to defend myself. And I wasn't wrong. And I appreciated her so much for that because I'm like, yo, that's why to this day, I would never allow anybody to put their hands on me in a way that they could seriously hurt me or harm me and not defend myself. And that's also why, especially after hearing stories like Miss Shanquilla Robinson's story, I will make sure, guaranteed that prayerfully when ancestors do, bless me with offspring of my own, I will be able to successfully teach my babies, my children, how to fight and be able to defend themselves. I'm not going to teach them to just go around fighting everybody. No. But I will make sure that my babies know if anybody put your back against the wall, and if anybody is seriously trying to hurt or harm you, you do not allow that person to successfully pull that off. You defend yourself. You can fight back. You have a right to defend yourself. If somebody is hurting you, you have a right. It's your human right to defend yourself and not allow that person to successfully harm you. And I appreciate so much my mom letting me know, despite the fact that she's raised me to be nonviolent, she also raised me not to be a fool and not to be a person to allow people to just walk all over me and treat me any old kind of way. And I'm so thankful and appreciative for that. And I will do my due diligence and my best to guarantee that I make sure that my children know how to fight and defend themselves. So therefore, if anybody ever try to do any type of bullying or um destructive behavior towards my children, that they will be able to defend themselves properly and be able to make sure that they are always able to come back home to mom. Because that is such a heartbreaking, heart-wrenching situation when you allow your child to go ahead and have some fun and try to live life, and then somebody takes your child's life from them. It's terrible. That's why my heart seriously goes out to that young lady and her family, because that could have been me. Those girls could have killed me. They could have broke my neck. But thank God I knew how to defend myself, and I knew how to make sure that I wasn't just allowing anybody to beat up on me. And I'm not saying anything negative against Shanquilla, because I understand she wasn't a fighter, and she wasn't one of those type of people that just accepted the fact that the world is evil and that I have to defend myself, because if I don't, they will seriously take me out of here. She wasn't thinking that way, and I don't blame her at all. But I'm saying, for future references for others and for my offspring, in other words, for me and mine, as a lesson through this story, as well as my own story that I lived through, thank God I was able to survive it. That's why I know that it is very crucial and important for you to teach your children how to fight and defend themselves. Don't be aggressive towards other people. Don't be ready to fight at the drop of a dime. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, don't let nobody back you against the wall. Don't let nobody beat you down and you don't defend yourself. You have a right. You have a right to defend yourself. And that's what I promote. Self-defense. Because you cannot allow people to totally just beat you down and you do nothing. You don't do that. Don't do that. As a person that has survived something like that, my advice to you is to learn how to defend yourself and understand you're not wrong. You have every right to defend yourself. Don't go trying to fight people. Don't go picking fights. Make sure you don't hit them first. Because when you hit them first, that automatically makes you the person that's trying to, create the fight and the tension between you two. But when they hit you first, they initiate it. Don't you be the initiator. But if they initiate it, you end it. But you don't got to kill nobody either. But you defend yourself and you get away from the situation and you make sure you get to safety. That's my advice to anybody that may possibly ever land themselves in any situation that sounds like mine or that sounds like Shanquilla. I am so sorry for messing up this young lady's name. But if you find yourself in any situation that sounds similar to Shanquilla Robinson's story or my story, you do the best that you can not to get violent. But if they get violent with you, you do the best that you can to protect yourself and get yourself out of the dangerous situation that you're in. And I will pray for you guys that you guys will never have to have that experience, because let me tell you, I was very nervous and afraid the way that they was doing me, because I was thinking in my head, like, yo, y'all supposed to be my friends. Like, not only was I thinking it in my head, I was saying it to them. Like, how could y'all introduce me? I mean, how could y'all bring me here and y'all knew that this wasn't supposed to be no fun gathering? even though that's what I thought it was going to be. But obviously, they had a whole nother situation in mind. You know, I was like, why would y'all do that? You know what I'm saying? I could not understand that for the life of me. Now I get it that they were just evil, but it was just like my young mind getting to understand how evil people were at that time. It was just like, it was a very sad situation, but I'm glad that I was able to wrap my head around it and very much so recognize how evil and mean people can be and how it was okay to defend myself. So guys, if you guys watched all the way to the end, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys so much for completing the video. And I hope you got some really good advice. And I hope you got some enlightenment. And, you know, I hope you guys were able to catch something that was able to be beneficial for you. I know that me going through this particular situation, as well as me hearing about Miss Shanquilla's story, it was very, whew, it was kind of triggering. I'm not going to hold you guys. Like, it was kind of triggering. That's why I don't even want to see the other video of the girl body slamming her, because it's like, yo, I remember how I felt when I was in my situation, and I know I felt so disrespected, disregarded. I felt so frustrated. I felt alone. You know, I felt like these people traded on me, and it was like, y'all traded on me right in front of my face. And it was like unbelievable to me that people could be that mean and evil. But it did get me to recognize that that's how people are. It's not good to accept it, but it is good to notice who's around you, who you're around, and who is possible for you to end up around. And for you to, when you recognize that that's the type of person that you're around, for you to get away from that. Because those type of people are evil, and they will kill you. And sadly, Shanquilla's story tell us that. These people will kill you if you don't do your due diligence as best as you possibly can to protect yourself. So my advice to you and my future children, when they do arrive, is to protect yourself, defend yourself, and then get yourself to an area and a space and a place where you can be safe. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be coming back with another video as soon as possible. Make sure you press that subscribe button, and make sure you become a part of the Truth Tribe if you like this video. If you like this video or any type of videos like this, where I am being informative and I am sharing some good advice as best as I possibly can come up with from my experiences, and associating it with other experiences that you guys may understand and, you know, feel at one with. I hope that you guys are able to really get a lot of positivity from me and my channel. And make sure that you press that notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload. And I will see you guys in the next video. Later.